What is up, everyone? So in today's video I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Similar to the tier list video, it is going to be an all costumes ranked. I came up with this idea a couple days ago when I was doing one of the conquest videos, and I thought it'd be really fun to just go through and check out all the costumes and alternate costumes in the game and just rank them on a scale of 1 to 10. So starting right off with it, Scorpion's costume, his default design in this game I think is pretty good. It's kind of like the MK3 ninjas, which I'm usually not a fan of, but in this game it just kind of works, and I think it kind of fits pretty well. I'd probably give that one an 8 out of a 10. For his alternate design, it's the Deception one, I believe, his main costume Deception, which a lot of the costumes in this game are just re-sprited from the 2 games before, but despite that, I do still think it's a good one. It's probably equal to me with the default one, just because I think it's kind of like a similar, to me it's like a similar costume, but just like a more darker, like edgy, harder version of it. So I'd give it also 8 out of 10. This costume right here is my absolute favorite Sub-Zero skin, 10 out of 10. I love it. I love the medallion. I love the little like stones on his chest. I love the blue eyes, the cool looking mask, the ninja hood. I like the ice arms. The only one thing I would say is kind of weird is those little bands, but I get that they're trying to do something else on the arm, so I still think 100% 10 out of 10. His alternate is also amazing. I'm a huge fan of the like Shredder Sub-Zero skin, as most people call it. I think it's awesome. I love the pants with the little like design on them. I like the belt. The one thing that's weird to me is kind of the like underbelt, like it looks like it's like a dragon belt with a karate belt like under it poking out of the chainmail. So for me that's a little weird, so because of that I'm probably going to do a 9 out of 10. I actually think Reptile's design in this game is pretty solid. Like, I'm not a huge fan of like the goofy looking crazy lizard reptile, so I'm actually a pretty big fan of this one. I'd give it probably a solid 8 out of 10. His alternate, on the other hand, is terrible to me. I'm just not a fan of the straight on, like, just a straight up lizard. Like, just not a huge fan of it. Don't think it looks that great. It's probably like a 3 out of 10, honestly. Rain's design is great in this game. I'm a huge fan of like the big like draping like cape thing, because he's like royalty, he's fancy, so I think it fits him well. I think it looks cool. I like his little like ninja sash and little quilt in the mat, and the mask is good. It's probably another 8 out of 10. His alternate design is kind of like a more like the classic design. It's similar, but it doesn't have the big cape, obviously. And I think the hair is like under a mask now, or like a helmet type thing, which is pretty cool. I don't think it beats out the other one, but I don't think it's any worse, so it's also probably an 8 out of 10 for me. Ermac's design in this game is pretty solid. It's not like an absolute favorite of mine. I am a fan of like the wraps, but only when there's a whole bunch of them and like completely almost covers his head, except for like right here I was like his eyes, and I guess I don't think he really needs nose holes, but it doesn't look that bad. But yeah, I think it looks good with the bandages when there's like a bunch of them. I like the green glowing eyes. I like the long sash. His boots are fine. The little design on the up his pants is nice. It's probably another 8 out of 10. His alternate costume I'm not as big as a fan of. I'm not a fan of Ermac's ears, I guess. I don't think his ears and like a little bit of his hair, I guess he has hair, needs to be showing out from under like a almost like a do-rag, and then like a mask that just comes up to his nose. Not a huge fan of that. I'm not a huge fan of seeing his like shirt underneath the costume. I don't think that's great. I do like the knee pads on this one probably a little bit more. I like the wraps around the arm, but probably a 6 out of 10 overall. Chameleon does not have an alternate. This is his only costume, and it's kind of basic. It's just like a ninja who changes colors, but I've always been a fan of Chameleon. I think it's a cool idea. I like the fact that he just actively changes colors, and when you're in the game and you're fighting and you use, like, let's say Ermac's special move, it'll immediately go to the red, or if you use Reptile's special move, it'll go to green. So I do think that's really cool, but it's kind of similar to Ermac's alternate, and so I'd probably give it a 7 for that. I love Noob's design in this game. I think it's fantastic. I love the like super dark, like almost can't even see it, and just the white eyes. It's probably a 9 out of 10 for me. I love it. And his alternate is similar except not completely dark, and and I think this is this Deception main costume. And I actually have an action figure of this one, which is like the old Deception action figures, which are actually quite rare and quite expensive these days. And I'm a huge fan of it, and honestly, just because I have that, it raises it up another point for me and becomes a 10. Now, Smoke's design I have hated on a lot. If you saw the tier list video, I was not a huge fan of it, just did not like it. And I still think it's kind of goofy and dumb, but honestly, I would love to see it come back because it would just look so silly. And in a game like MK1 where it's like such high fidelity, I just think it'd be really funny. But it's still like a 4 out of 10 costume. Like the mask is cool, and that's about it. The pants are weird, the little loincloth is weird, the gloves are weird, and just the smoke body is just not a great idea. 4 out of 10. His alternate with Cyber Smoke is honestly pretty solid. I don't think I like it as much as Cyrax or Sectors, which we'll see upcoming. But it's not bad by any means. I'm not a huge fan of like his small waist and like the little like skeleton, like exoskeleton part in the middle. But I do like the tubes in the back. I like the helmet, and I like it overall. So I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. Like I was saying, Cyrax design, I think it's very solid in this game. I like having all the little lights on his belt and on his arm, like beeping and going up and down, and even his little like boots, I guess you'd call them. I do like the helmet as well, and the chest piece. I think it's cool. I think it's a good cyborg design. It's probably a 7 out of 10. His alternate, on the other hand, is not good at all. It's absolutely terrible. I'm sorry. It's just so bad. MK9, if you want to do human Cyrax, MK9 is the way to go for human Cyrax and Sector. This is just terrible. This is like a 2 out of 10. The only thing that's like decent is like, at least from the waist down, it's okay. But the waist up is just terrible. It's, yeah, 2 out of 10. Sector design, like I was saying, I think is also great in this game. I honestly might be my favorite Sector design. He does look really good in some later games, but I just think he looks really solid in this game. I like the little like warning sticker. His helmet's great. It's just really solid. He looks kind of beefy, which I always imagine Sector as being a little bit more like bigger and stronger than Cyrax. I don't know why, but it just always fits for me. So it's probably going to be a 9 out of 10. His alternate design is just okay. I'm not a huge fan of the legs with like the big cuts in the side. It looks like it almost has like an Iron Man chest thing there, the circle. The helmet is pretty cool. The helmet is probably the only part saving it. Everything else though is just kind of like meh. So it's probably like a 5 out of 10. Striker design is okay. Again, like with Sector's alternate, it's probably going to be a 5 out of 10 because I'm just not a huge fan of like the Hawkeye bodysuit thing. I do like how it's got that little bit of blue going around. He doesn't have a baseball hat on or anything like that, so if you told me this was just a random cop in the background, I would believe you. Yeah, just 5 out of 10. So his alternate is like a SWAT design, which isn't bad. I like I think that's a knife on the side. He's got like his taser on the back. I like the more blue. And overall, I think it's better, but because it has that helmet on where you can't see his face, and again, just looks like a random cop in the background, I don't think it edges it out, and it's just another 5 out of 10. Cabal's design is pretty solid. I like the long trench coat. I like the green and the brown with the ventilator thing going up to his mask. I think overall it's just a pretty like solid Cabal design. Nothing too bad about it, nothing too crazy. Just like probably an 8 out of 10. His alternate is pretty similar, except it's more like a classic one, I believe. I'm not as big of a fan of the mask on this one. And I did kind of like the tube on the other one, although it was kind of weird. It was just going down to his belt. I did like the way it looked though. I do like the color combo on this one. It feels like a little bit more simpler, like less advanced, I guess, but it's probably a 6 out of 10. Dyer's design is, I've never been a fan of it. I just think it looks so like basic and weird. Like his belt is like sticking off, like poking out. I like the little red like wraps that are coming out of his arms. The shoulder pads are crazy. The like tattoo on his forehead is fine. His pants are super baggy and huge, and then they come to a tight stop right at his boots. Just not a huge fan, like a 4 out of 10 for me. And his alternate is not any better for me, honestly. I mean, the belt is cool and like the little sashing off the side, I like that. Did he have long hair in the first one? Yeah, okay, he had the same hair, same face. Yeah, I can't say a lot that I like about it. Another 4 out of 10. Same thing with Jarek, honestly. It looks weird. Like he's got like this leather armor. It just looks weird to me. I do like the brown and the green combo. I like the little design on the side of his like green part. His belt is okay. And honestly, that little like circle thing looks similar to the one the Dire had, except it's not sticking out for whatever reason. But again, just another design I'm not a huge fan of, but I think a little bit better than Dire's, so probably a 5 out of 10. His alternate is so weird to me. I don't even know what's happening here, despite the fact that his loincloth is like bugging out. Just besides that, it's just bizarre. It's just a lot going on, and I don't think any of it works. It's honestly like a 2 out of 10 for me. Dire's design isn't bad. I like the like ridges, I guess you'd call it, on the chest and the loincloth thing. It's like got texture to it. I like his belt. I like his color combos. The glasses are pretty cool. Not a whole lot going on, but it's not like bad, so probably a 6 out of 10. His alternate is just like, I mean, it's just like he's got karate pants and an afro. That's about all I can say about it. It's not like bad, but it's not like anything special, so it's probably just like a 5 out of 10. Reiko's design in this game is pretty good. I think he has a little too many spikes. Like on the shoulder pads and the arms is okay, and the boots I get, but then having spikes on his loincloth is just weird. I think it would look better if it had nothing on it. It was just red, so that kind of holds it back for me. I like the crazy like hair with the black and white, and the paint he has on his face looks cool, like the war paint, and the skull like on the harness. I think it's a pretty good design, probably like an 8 out of 10. His alternate is also pretty decent. Yeah, it's like the classic costume. Again, on this one, I don't think he needed all those spikes. I think maybe just some on the fist, but the ones on the gauntlet are a little bit too much. I do like the hair again, though. It's a little bit like longer, I guess. It's more white on the sides, black on top. But yeah, I like the classic design. It probably a 7. Fujin's design is pretty solid in this game. His shoulder pads are crazy. I like them, but they're a little too much. I like the color scheme of the blue and like the red and the silver and that little bit of gold in the middle. I like his little like straps on his legs. Those look kind of cool. He doesn't have a lot going on in his arms, but I don't think that's really a problem because the shoulder pads are so crazy. And I like the big long braided hair. I think that looks good. It's probably another 8 out of 10. His alternate costume is interesting with the cape. Shoulder pads seem a little less crazy. At least they're not as crazy of an angle. I don't like this hair as much. I like the braided one. Gloves again are kind of basic. The middle almost looks like a corset, I believe it's called, where like super tighten on it. That's what it looks like. It looks like his stomach's being sucked into that. But I do like the pants a lot, so it's not like a whole lot worse. Were his eyes glowing on the other one? I think they were. Yeah, the eyes glowing is a cool touch. This one probably a 7 out of 10. Brightshow, I'm not a huge fan of Brightshow. I don't think I'll ever be a huge fan of Brightshow. I just think he's a dumb character and does not have a good design. I mean, I get the whole like beer barrel thing in the back. I like the little metal face, I guess, and like I guess he has fur armor. I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me, but it's not like terrible. It's probably like a 5 out of 10. His alternate is bad. Not a fan of his alternate. Like I like the little dragon design, but besides that, it's just like it's like not a lot going on, but a whole lot at the same time, where it's just like too much, but really not enough. It just doesn't look great. It's probably another 5 out of 10. I think Movato's design is pretty cool. I like the long coat, but unlike Cabal's, it has like the red on the inside. I do like the no sleeve on one arm and then a sleeve with the shoulder pad on the other arm. I think it looks goofy, but I think it's cool. His pants going all the way up to his chest is a little weird. I like the little strap though. His hair is okay. Still kind of basic though. Probably like a 7 out of 10. His alternate, on the other hand, is very cool. It's like a Spanish like ninja type thing. I think it's really cool. I like his pants, the design on that. I like the little like sword holster. What do you call that? Sheath. That's what it's called. I like his little like bandana. I think it's really cool. I think it's like an 8 out of 10. Hotaru, I've never really been a huge fan of his design. I'd love to see him come back. I think it'd be really cool to come back, but never was a huge fan of his design. The bug armor is like a cool concept, but it just, I don't know, something about it just doesn't really work for me. That being said, it's still like a 6 out of 10. His alternate is pretty much the same, but instead he doesn't have the little like shoulder cape flag things, and he has a weird mask on. I'm not as big a fan of that one. Probably like a 5. Nightwolf design is kind of basic, but it's Nightwolf. You can't really expect a whole lot from Nightwolf. He didn't really look super amazing to me until MK11. Hopefully he'll come back, or as a female with the mantle, whatever. Hopefully when Nightwolf eventually comes back, they'll look better, because MK11 was the first time I feel like Nightwolf actually looked really cool. So this one's just like a 6 out of 10. This alternate is probably worse to me. I'm not a huge fan. Like, I get what it's going for, but I just don't think it works that well, and it just kind of feels like off balanced. So it's probably like a 4 out of 10. Mocap as the Joe character he is, it's just a mocap suit. I mean, it's mocap out of mocap. That's all you can really say about it. Johnny Cage's design is not bad. It's a very like 3D era Johnny Cage design, which of course it is. It's 3D era, but like, you know what I mean. It makes sense. It fits this era of games, the PS2 games. It makes sense. It's not bad. I like the cage on the side of the leg. I like the lion belt, and the gold and the blue looks good. I think it's like probably like an 8 out of 10. The suit costume is just okay. It's just a Johnny Cage in a suit. It's nothing special. I wish he had a little bit different glasses. If he had like black glasses instead of the blue ones, I think maybe that would be better. Or even like no glasses. But it's just like a 5 out of 10. Kano's design's not bad. Actually, I'm a big fan of this design. I think it looks great, except for the lock of Sonya's hair. I've seen it in Deadly Alliance why he has it, the reminder where he pulls it off and he wears it around his chest to remind him or whatever. But that's just weird to me because Sonya's supposed to be obsessed with him, not the other way around, with Kano obsessed with her. So it's always been weird to me, and honestly, it would be like a, if I don't look at that part, it's like a 7 out of 10, but because of that, it's like a 3. I absolutely hate the hair. It's just so like weird and nasty. His alternate's not bad. It's like classic Kano. Not a whole lot you can say about it. It's not bad, but it's not like amazing. It's like a 6 out of 10. Jackson's design is not great in the 3D era. He's got the huge bulky arms. I do like the bandolier. The pants are fine. The belt's fine. The beret is okay. His goggles are like, they just look like too tight on his face. Like they're not bad, but they just look like his face is being like sucked in. So it's probably just like a 6 out of 10. His alternate is like the, I don't even know what you want to call this, like casual wear. The necklace is cool because it's Mortal Kombat, but besides that, it's just like, it feels like it's trying too hard. It's probably like a 3 out of 10. Kai's design is actually pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of Jarek's with like the leather armor, but I think it works a little bit better in this one. I like the little white like stripes on the side. The mutton chops kind of fit him well, honestly. Usually I wouldn't be a fan of that, but I think it fits him well. I like his haircut. I like the mutton chops. I like the red and the black, like more darker colors. I think it's a pretty good design. Probably like a 7. Yeah, probably a 7 out of 10. Try not to do the 0.5s. And this design I think is great. More like a classic one from MK4, I believe. Yeah, this one's great. I like that the added white stripes added on the shoulder and the side. Like the little sash. I like the headband. This one's probably like an 8 out of 10 for me. I'm definitely a fan of that one. Kinshi in the business suit. It looks like a business suit. It looks like he's wearing a tie. He's got the kanji on his nipples. Besides that, it's just okay. Blindfold's a blindfold. The hair's the hair. It's usually the same. Gauntlets, leggings, the boots. It's just kind of basic and it's not great. It's like a 6 out of 10. Now his alternate, on the other hand, his main design, absolute easy 10 out of 10. Looks amazing. Got the blindfold flow in with the long tied off parts. You got the sash, the dragon. Got the red and the black. It complements so well. It looks amazing. He's easily a 10 out of 10 design. Shujinko's just okay. I mean, he's one of the few like old man characters like with Shang Tsung. And I think that's about it, honestly. I don't think there's any other like real old people. I guess Raichu's a little bit older, but he's not like graying. I think Otaro just has white hair. But yeah, he's like one of the few like old guys. And it's just like a decent, like kind of mid-tier design. Nothing too crazy about it, but it's not bad. Probably like a 6 out of 10. Now, Bald Shujinko with his weird orange and gold flannel on one arm and his bib and his karate belt is just weird and wild. And he's got one sleeve rolled up. I always like the one arm has like a big clunky armor and one arm is smaller and doesn't. I do still like that. I like that design concept, and honestly I think it kind of works here, even though it looks weird. As weird as it is, I honestly like it, like more than I feel like I should. Like in my head, I feel like I should not like the design because it looks weird. And he's got a bib and a weird belt and a weird shirt on, but I kind of love it. I wouldn't say I love it, but I kind of like it. And it's probably on par with the other one, just another like 6 out of 10. Suhao, there's not a lot you can say about Suhao that hasn't been already said. hasn't already been said. His design is just kind of mid. It's Kano, except instead of an eye, it's on his chest. That's really all you can say about it. It's just basic military gear with the chest cannon. I mean, the chest cannon is cool. I like the red stripe up the side, but it's like a 5 out of 10. It's nothing special. His alternate is worse. It's just the same thing, except he's not wearing a hat, and you see that he's bald, which is terrifying. He's got the crazy eyebrows still. He's got the white pants with a big old spike on it. It looks like it looks like Bowser's back is on his leg. It's just worse. It's a 3 out of 10. Cobra, I get what they were doing with the character, but it's just a basic like martial arts dude. It's just it's probably a 4 out of 10, honestly. It's just, I'm not a huge fan of it. His gameplay is fun though. Alternate, same thing, going for like the Jin Kazama type thing. He's got the hood on. It's better, but it's still not like crazy better. It's just a 5 out of 10. Now, Taven designs, I know most people think he's boring, but I think it's underrated. I think it's an awesome design. I love the black and the gold. Of course, he has the dragon tattoo. Always thought that was an awesome concept. Love the necklace, his boots. He just looks awesome. I think it's a 6 out of 10. Now, his alternate for me is amazing. I love his armor. I've seen some of the concept art. I'm glad they went with this one. It looks amazing. It just looks like an upgrade from his other one. He's got the red down the side. He's got the cool design on the front and the back. He's got the gauntlets. He's got the little bar in the middle. He's got the gold thing. Now, Taven is my favorite character. I'm absolutely biased. I think it's like a 9 out of 10. I think it's fantastic. Part of me wants to say, no, I can't give it a 9. Give it an 8, but I'm going to give it a 9. I think it's awesome. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of Zombie Liu Kang, but I think Zombie Liu Kang is awesome. When I was younger, it used to scare the crap out of me watching that intro where he would hook Shang Tsung. I'm like, holy crap, this is terrifying. But I think this design is so cool. Infinitely better than the Revenant. Awesome design. Love that his eyeball's like almost falling out. He's got the pieces ripped off. He's got the chains. The chains are so cool. I would love to see that come back. And so, like, give us a Zombie Liu Kang skin, please, in MK1. That would honestly make me want to try out Liu Kang. It's like an 8 out of 10. I think it's awesome. Excuse me. His alternate design is just normal Liu Kang. Basic, kind of boring, 5 out of 10. Kung Lao design is pretty sick in this game. I like the little red sashes he has and the little like gold like accoutrements, I guess you could say, like the little like accompanying accessories, like ropes hanging off is what it would called. And then the sash going around is pretty cool. I like the gold on his arms and the one on his shoulder. I like how one arm, you know I'm gonna like this. One arm has the big heavy gold one and the other one's just got the little silver one. I like his almost wooden looking boots and the blue pants. I think it's like an 8 out of 10 design. His hat looks great. I think it's just a great design overall. His alternate with the hat on the back is kind of cool. It's unique. It looks like a more like refined like Shaolin monks, like not like the Shaolin monks game, but like I am a Shaolin monk. I'm kind of toning it back a little bit. I think it's another great design. Not as good as that one for me. Probably a 7 out of 10. I've always been a fan of Shang Tsung's design in the 3D era. I think it looks cool. I love the like royal red and the gold just accompany each other. I think it looks great with his very fancy boots and like gear and all the stripes and straps, I guess, hanging off and like the cloak in the back. I think it's a great skin. I like his hair, like the little like goatee mustache combo. It's probably a 8 out of 10. His alternate is not as good for me. He's got the weird little cap. His hair is like either been cut or it's just been put up into the hat. It's still fancy though. It still feels like Shang Tsung. Oh, never mind. I can see his hair at the back. It's long. I like the little armband. I like that there's 3 of them. I think it looks cool. Overall, just not huge. I do like the wraps around the feet. Overall, not as good as that one, but the last one, sorry. But not bad by any means. Probably a 6 out of 10. Quan Chi is Quan Chi. He really has not had a crazy new redesign. Even in MK1, his main costume is really like, yep, that's Quan Chi. That's what he looks like. That being said, I don't think his design is bad in this game. I think it's like a 7 out of 10. I like the runes on him. I like the one shoulder pad. I like the little Shinnok's amulet, of course. And I like the like blue sash loincloth thing. I think it's like a 7 out of 10. His alternate is bad. It's like classic Quan Chi from NK4, I believe. Where Shaolin monks, I think actually is where, not Shaolin monks, sorry. Mythology Sub-Zeros might have been where you see it first. Not good. Just looks bad. It's like so puffy in this game for no reason. Like his arms are like a quarter of the size of that sleeve, and his legs are like half the size of those pants. Like, it is weird looking. That's like a 2 out of 10. It's so weird looking. Honestly, I think Shinnok is not a terrible character, but his design has always been bad. It's just like he's got the weird little ear things. He kind of looks like an undead, which is kind of cool because he's like the fallen elder god. The colors are just like, they're so like bright, like the blue, red, gold. Like, it's very like out there and like in your face. I do like the little pattern on it though, on the like the ridges on the top part, and then the like scales almost on the bottom part. It's probably like a 5 out of 10. His alternate one is similar, but it's a little more flowy, I guess. It's more like a robe type thing, and I don't think it's any better or worse. Another 5 out of 10. I love Dark Raiden. I think that's an awesome concept, and I love the 3D era Raiden designs. I think he looks awesome in this game. I love the like samurai armor, the red eyes, the torn cape. It's probably a 9 out of 10 for me. I absolutely love Dark Raiden in this game. His alternate is still Dark Raiden. I think in Deception Deadly Alliance it was like, I don't know about Deadly Alliance, but definitely Deception it was Dark Raiden, and then it was like a normal Raiden. I like how they went with, at least I believe so, I like how they went with Dark Raiden again, but it's just like a different version. He's got like the taken off of one side, which I think is cool. You know, I like the bulky side on one arm, light side on the other. I like the blue beads around. I think that's cool. I think he has like a shield on his back, which is kind of weird, but I think it kind of works. Like the sword, the hair is cool. It's not as good as the other one, but I think it's like as, I'm stuck between a 7 and an 8. Whoops. I'm stuck between a 7 and an 8, but I think it would probably be, I really don't want to do a 0.5, but it is really cool design, but yeah, I gotta give 7.5. I can't make up my mind on that one. Dagon only has one costume. It's not crazy. It's got crazy shoulder pads, which that's definitely a theme in this game, and especially this game, but also just the 3D era. They got crazy shoulder pads, which it makes sense to me because they're fighting and killing each other. They should have like, someone want to have like some bulky armor on. So I don't think that's really a bad thing. I like the orange and like black and gold. I feel like not really any other characters have that color combination. Overall, I just think it's a good design. Not as good as Taven's armor. Probably a 7 out of 10. Let's see. Sonya has some good designs in the 3D era. There's just like one thing, if it'll load, come on. The only thing I don't like about this skin is like the weird, like, I guess that's her underwear or like her panty line going up above her pants and going around her waist. Like, I get it, trying to make it like sexy or whatever, but I'm not a huge fan of that. I think without that it would probably be like a 9 out of 10, but because of that, no, without it it'd probably be like an 8 out of 10, but because of that it's gonna bring it down to like a 7 for me. Her alternate is really good though, because it's still like, she looks good in it. It's not like super revealing, but she doesn't look like bland or boring or whatever like people would think they have if the women wore more clothes. The boots are a little weird. Why would she fight in boots? But that is another thing that Mortal Kombat tends to give like all the female fighters for whatever reason. I like the beret, I like the hair, I like the military accoutrements. I think this one is an 8 out of 10. Katana's design is pretty good. I wish it was a little bit more blue instead of purple. I feel like it's almost like, the shade of it is almost like purple. Her hair has always been weird to me in this game, in like the 3D era. The weird like long hair with like the curl at the end. I'm not a huge fan of that, but if I cut that part off and I just look at the hair like right on her head with that one long one, I do like that part. I like the little diamond earrings. Overall, it's probably like a 7 out of 10. Her alternate is more like a classic costume. I think it looks amazing. I love the mask. I love the bright blue popping. Again, still not a huge fan of the hair, but I do like the top part and the one long shirt, and this one would be an 8 out of 10 for me. Again, she's wearing like heels. Melina's design is not bad in this game. I like the veil a lot. I think she should have a veil, because that way you can still kind of see her mouth, even though, you know, she's trying to hide it, but you can still kind of see her mouth there. I like the hair on top of it, like the ponytail. Sorry about that, that's my dog in the background. I like the flowing, like the long flowy thing at the bottom, and the little like baggy arms are kind of cool, but she should just maybe wear some pants. That being said, I still think it's like a 7 out of 10. Her alternate I'm not a huge fan of. It's just like a stripper costume. Like, she's wearing hardly anything. The mask and the hair is really cool. Like, if I just look at the head, it's like an 8 out of 10. Everything else is like, okay, there's not a lot to judge there. Because of that, it's gonna be like a 6 out of 10. Jade's costume is not bad at all. I do like her heels, even though, again, why is she wearing heels when she's fighting? I do like the, well, Jade, or like Emerald in the knee part. I like the gold and green. I think it works well. And I like her hair. It's probably like a 7 out of 10. Her alternate is, again, kind of similar to Katana's, where it's more like a classic costume. I like this one a little bit more. She's almost got like Chun-Li's buns, like her hair. But I think it works well, and I think it looks cool. I like the mask a lot on this one. That was going to be an 8 out of 10. Ashura, however you want to say it, has a pretty okay design. Like, it's not bad. It's just kind of like simple. Like, I like the white and gold. I like the like signifying like she's the demon, but she's trying to purify herself. She's like wearing this bright white and this bright gold. I think it looks cool. Like the little like rings around the arm and the legs. That looks nice. And of course the big hat, what she's known for. I think it looks cool. I think it's probably like a 8 out of 10 design. Her alternate is not as good for me. It kind of just feels like her main design, but just with less clothes on, honestly. Like, the veiled arms are kind of cool. I wish they're a little bit less puffy. Her just like not having a shirt on, or like less of a shirt on, I'm not a huge fan of, and just no pants is just weird. I do like the hair, but I would prefer the hat on, so that was probably a 6 out of 10. I think Li Mei's design is pretty good in this game. I like the little like bandana, or like she has on her head. I believe that's what it's called. I like how it has like a little collar. Again, wearing boots. Was Ashura wearing boots? No, she's actually not wearing boots. Okay. Wow, that's different. Good for her. I like the little like belt with the like one hanging off the side. I like the purple mixed with like the lavenderish color. I like the like. She's not wearing a lot, so it's not like amazing, but what is there looks cool. So it's probably like a 7 out of 10. Her alternate is like similar, but for me this is a little bit too much. Like, I think if they met in between her main one with like the bandana on the head and a little sash, and then a little bit more armor, but not as much as this one, I think it would have been like perfect, like maybe a 9, almost a 10 out of 10. But the other one was like a 7, and this one's just a little bit too much armor for me. I like it a little bit less, probably a 6. Tiner's design is not bad at all. I like her hair, I like the glowing eyes. The choker's fine. I like her like top that leads into like the skirt type thing. Her boots are fine. I do like how the one arm has the band and then the glove, and the other one is like a longer thing. It's probably like a 7 out of 10. Now her alternate, I am a huge fan of. I think it looks amazing. I think the hair looks cool. I like the long one in the back. I like the like bodysuit design. She got the like little symbol on it. It looks really cool. Of course, she's wearing boots with heels, but they're like super high up. I think it looks great. This is like a 9 out of 10 design for me. Frost design is not bad. It's female Sub-Zero, but it's done well. I like the little like leg sash. She almost got away with no boots with heels, but there's a little bit of heel there. I like the mask. I like her crazy spiky hair. Overall, I think it's a pretty solid like 7 out of 10 design. Her alternate is like the Ice Queen, I think is what it's called. I like the little snowflake. Excuse me, little snowflake on the sash. Her little armbands are kind of cool. I like the like blue eyeshadow and lipstick. Wish she was wearing some pants though. With not a whole lot going on there. But if she was wearing like a dress, like to make it more like Ice Queen, like really lean into that Elsa vibe, that would have been a cool design. But overall, this is probably like a 6 out of 10. Sindel has like, I feel like she never looks like that much different. Like, I know her designs change, like especially in the newer games, but the 3D era, it's like you see a costume, it's like, yeah, that's a Sindel design, all right. It's not bad though. I like the purple and gold, of course, and a little bit of black mixed in there. Like the hair, the little like eyeshadow and makeup and stuff looks good. It's probably like a 7 out of 10 design, not too bad. Her alternate, I'm not as big a fan of. It's more like the royalty, like evil queen, I guess, because she has the crown on, but she has this weird bodysuit that's like an X, and then there's just like a bikini kind of thing under it. But then there's that weird spiky cloth. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's probably like a 5 out of 10. I do like the hair though. The Tara design is not bad at all. I like the vampire pirate thing. Again, not wearing a whole lot. It's just like a bra within like sleeves. Her wings are cool though. I like the little symbol on her wings, even though it's kind of weird. I like the little knife around the chain belt. Of course, she's wearing the heels. We know Cinderella's wearing the heels. I don't need to go back to her. Overall, probably like an 8 out of 10 design. Not bad at all. Her alternate, I don't like as much. The white like face makeup is kind of weird. I do like her cool tattoos. Her boots are kind of cool with like the monster mouth in the bottom. But overall, it's not a whole lot there. Probably a 6 out of 10. Kira's design is kind of basic. I like the knives on the boots. Of course, wearing the boots heels. The like little leg windows are kind of weird. She's wearing like a vest with a little zip up thing under it. It's not bad. She's got the super long neck, but I'm not going to blame that on her. The little black dragon tattoo, of course. And the hair is not bad. It's probably like a 6 out of 10. Not a whole lot going on, but not like bad. The alternate is not bad either. I like, again, the knives but on the thighs this time. Got the boot heels. I like those gloves. I like the top with like the fancy like red lining on the inside that pops out, and the belts are kind of cool, and the hair is not bad. Probably another like, I think I give that one a 7 out of 10. Senior design's not bad. The follower of Quan Chi, or one of Quan Chi's 3 female assassins that you actually fight in conquest mode. I like the hair with a little like white part. I like her eye makeup, the tattoo, and the symbols from like Quan Chi's, what's it called? The Brotherhood of Shadow, or that's from Skyrim, isn't it? I can't remember what it's called, something like that. That being like on her arm, and the waist thing and the gaunts is pretty cool. Overall, still not a whole lot going on, probably like another 6 out of 10. Her alternate is, actually I think I give her base one a 7 because this one is more like a 5 out of 10 for me. I like the hair again. It kind of just feels like the other one with less, slightly different colors. That's like a 5. The first one I'd give like a 7. Shiva's design is really good in this game. It's like very solid. Like it's got like the royalty, like the gold and the red with the crazy mohawk. I like that a lot. Like the earrings, like the little head thing she has on, like by the horns, I think they are, like little like spiky horns with the little like headdress. I think it's a really good like 8 out of 10 design. And again, the alternate is, I think it's only little horns, but that's like a part of her head. Alternate is great. It's like classic Shiva. It's simple, but it's effective. It works. Another 8 out of 10. Baraka's design, same as Deception, I believe. It's not bad. I like the colors it has. I like the green with the red, and like the bones, like the spines connecting it from the front to back. I think it's pretty cool. Of course, he's got the blades out. The boots are okay. It's probably like a 7.5. His alternate is a little more basic. It's got a little bit more armor on the shoulders, but it just kind of baggy and like it doesn't fit him in this game. So that looks kind of weird to me. I like his mouth in this one, I like his eyes. It's kind of basic. It's like a 5 out of 10. Motaro's design wouldn't be bad except for the fact that he lost 2 legs. So because of that, I really can't rate it that high because like he's not Motaro. He's not what he should be. That being said, the cyber, he still got a little bit of that cyber armor, which he kind of has like an MK1. So it's not like terrible, but because you can't get past those 2 legs he lost, so I really can't give it that high. But ignoring that, it's just like a basic like 4 out of 10. I think the alternate is a little bit better. I like the tribal like war paint. I like the like, almost looks more like brass or bronze. I think like brass, like armor on the belt and the wrist instead of like gold. The front like loincloth thing looks kind of weird. It doesn't look like it sits right, but I think it's a little bit better. Probably like a 6 out of 10. Havoc design is cool. Cleric of Chaos, he's got a crazy looking outfit going on. I like his helmet with the like ponytail going through the back. I like the little shoulder pads and the little like ribbed, like textured part on the left side going into the big sleeves. And of course, you know, I like the big sleeve and then like the one less armored one. I like his like ripped up sash going down. I think it's a good design. Probably like an 8 out of 10. His alternate, I know a lot of people like this alternate, but I was never a fan of it. I think the hood, I think it's cool. It kind of like covers his mouth a little bit and like his face, so you can't see all the craziness. But I think he would want to show off like that chaos and that craziness, so I don't think it works that well. I like the little belt combo with the like sash loincloth where it has the little symbols on it. But I think it's just a little too basic. It's like a 5 out of 10. Drama's design is weird. It's just like a dude with some underwear and a shoulder pad on. I do like the knife in his back though, it's a cool little touch. And I do like his Oni mask. The flies is a little bit too much, like there's too many flies. Like, just tone it down the flies by like 50%. The little bits of flesh hanging off is kind of cool, but it's like a 3 out of 10. It's not a whole lot going on. The only thing that really saves it is the mask from being like a 1. And the alternate is kind of the same thing, except he has wraps on, I guess, and he's a communist, I guess, because it's kind of what that little thing looks like on his chest. I like the head hanging down. That's weird and crazy. Again, the mask is the same because that was the only good part from the last one, but I think maybe they should have changed the colors to be like red and like if the colors on the mask were red and black instead of like the green, blue, and orange, I think it would look really cool and be like almost like a 7 out of 10. But the mask just looks like it doesn't fit the rest of the costume. Even the knife in his back changed, but the mask didn't. So I think for that it's like a 6. Moloch doesn't have an alternate design, just his main one. Super basic. I do like his 3 eyes. I like the chain wrapped around it with the ball, but that's all he's got going for him. Like a 2 out of 10. Meat, same thing, doesn't have an alternate design. It's just a dude with blood flowing off him. It's just like the muscle. And he's still got underwear on underneath, which is kind of weird, but I guess I get why they did it. The eyeball hanging out is like the only cool thing going on there. I still think Meat is cool. I think he should come back, even as like a cameo. That would be an awesome cameo in my opinion. I mean, full playable character would be amazing, but I think it'd be a really good cameo. I really don't hate his design though. There's nothing for me to like hate about it. So it's probably just like a 6 out of 10. I think he looks cool. Shao Kahn's design is similar to a lot of his designs are kind of similar, but changed in little ways. I think it looks amazing in this game. Love the helmet. The shoulder pads are like crazy, but I think they work. I love the cape. I think Shao Kahn should have a cape. I don't know why he stopped having cape. I think it looks awesome. Like the belt and like the skulls and the spikes on his wrist and stuff. I think it's like a 9 out of 10. I think it looks great. This alternate I'm not as big a fan of. It's like, I almost said Dark Khan. Like, no, that is a different character. Whew, we do not talk about Dark Khan. His helmet is like the shape of an H, which I'm not a huge fan of. Besides that, I think it's kind of cool looking. Still got the cape, which is good. But he's almost got like some samurai looking armor, which doesn't really fit Shao Kahn, in my opinion. But he's wearing pants for once. He's not just got the little underwear thing. He's actually wearing pants, so that's some character development. I do like how his gloves and wrist gauntlets look, but it's probably like a 7. I think Goro, it's like basic kind of classic looking Goro. I like the little yin yang on his chest and the little gold bracers and the wraps around his feet. Goro just looks weird because I guess because he doesn't have any armor on, they gave him like 2 chests, so he's got 4 pecs, which always looks kind of weird to me. But besides that, I think it's a good design. It's simple, but it works. Like a 7 out of 10. His alternate is, it's pretty cool actually. I like the like mesh going around half of him and then the strap on the other side. The helmet's really cool with the like ponytail going out of it. He's got the yin yang, but it's bigger. He's got a little loincloth. I honestly think it's a little bit better. I think it reminds me of like Hulk and Gladiator Hulk is what it reminds me of. I think it's like an 8 out of 10. It's really good. Kintaro's primary design is really good in this game as well. It reminds me more of Goro's alternate than his main. Like I think it's kind of flipped with him. Like he's got a basic one and then armor, and then for Kintaro it'll be like the basic one, and then his alternate is like more simple. That being said, his primary one, I like that like braided looking ponytail with the gold clip like around the top. I like his spiky wristbands. I like his like almost looks like an animal's like giant tooth coming out of the shoulders. I think it's really good, like 8 out of 10. Really good design. His alternate one is like classic, like more simple. And again, just like Goro, I think the more armor actually looks cooler. Like I get that they're giant beasts and they don't really need the armor, but I do like having some like armor on them instead of just like 100,000 spikes on his shoulders. I think it's a little bit too many spikes. I do like the yin yang on him too, and the red sash. Still probably like a 7 out of 10. Onaga is a super cool character. I can't wait to see him come back. He has to come back in MK1 or the next game or whatever. They're just teasing him way too much. That being said, his design is just kind of okay. Like, it's not bad by any means, but there's not a whole lot going on. I mean, he's a big dragon, so I guess he doesn't need a whole lot. I do like the horns and like his hair kind of looking... Does he have hair? I don't know if that's hair. Like something on his helmet looks cool. I like his big old like quilts sash thing going down from the waist from like the skull and the little like ropes, gold ropes on it. It's definitely not a bad design, but it's not, doesn't like wow me. Probably like it's 6.5 out of 7 out of 10. Now I wish Blaze had an alternate and it was like his normal form in Deadly Alliance when he's a secret character. I think that would be amazing and super cool to play as like a whole like basically new like different character. Like just port his Deadly Alliance to this game and have his alternate play completely different, just like a Deadly Alliance one. I thought that would have been amazing because that design, even though it is kind of weird with like the metal like cauldron pants and wrist straps, I still think it's really cool and he's my favorite character in Deadly Alliance to play. But in this game, the big monster Blaze, it's not bad by any means. I think the rock armor like on the arms is cool, where it's like hardened, the lava is like hardened and stuff, and he's almost got like a mask from the rock, but you can still kind of see his mouth to see like the rage. I was idle for too long again. Sorry about that. I think it's not a bad design by any means. I honestly, it's definitely at least even with the Naga, maybe a little better for me, and I could again just be biased. But I'm a fan of it. I think it's pretty good. It's probably like a 7 out of 10 for me. Yeah, pretty good. So yeah, that's all. Like what, 62 characters and the ones who had their alternates. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the 3D era, specifically Armageddon, of course, and I'm a big fan of some of the designs. This one is probably my favorite. Like this design needs to come back. Like it is the best design for Sub-Zero in my opinion. But overall, a lot of like not bad costumes, a lot of decent ones. Not bad as I go on one of the lower ones. A lot of pretty solid costumes. Only a few 10 out of 10s like Kenshi's alternate, Sub-Zero's. Can't remember if I gave anyone else a 10 out of 10. Tanya's alternate I know got a 9. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this one. If you want to see this for like Deadly Alliance or Deception. Of course, Taven's the one I love that 9 out of 10. I stand by that. But yeah, let me know if you'd like to see this type of video in any other 3D games. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to like and subscribe, and take care.